This is an overview of what the DBA xPress command line is and how you use it. So the DBA xPress command line is a CLI that we created to automate the comparison of schemas or data between two databases. Usually you would do this inside of DBA xPress instead of Workbench, but now we are giving you the option of doing this from a command line. So let's take a look at how you can use this. Here's a quick example of a command line that we put together for schema compare. So you see that we're calling DBA xPress.command line, and we're using the mode of schema compare. Now there are two modes. You have schema compare and you have data compare. Obviously, this is going to compare the schema, this is going to compare the data. If you dig a little deeper into this, what we have here for both of these modes is the option of either creating and using a scenario path. So you create the scenario inside of DBA xPress and you can use that as your source and destination and all the options that you can create. There's actually a video that is going to dive deep into using a scenario file. And then you can tell the command line what you want it to do. So when it does the sync, do we want to just create a script so that you can execute that using SQL Server Management Studio? Do we want to automatically update the target with the differences found? So in this scenario, both in the data comparison and the schema comparison, it's going to run the comparison and then just automatically run the updates. And then hybrid, it does a combination of script and direct. So it's going to generate the script, it's going to write that script out to a file, and then you're going to execute. For both the script and the hybrid mode, you need this script output defined, and you can see that right here. So I'm doing script, and then my script output is saying that when this executes and it finds differences, write the script out to this file. If you don't want to use a scenario file, which you can use source and target connection string. And if you look at how we have this defined here, this is exactly what we're doing. So here's our source. We're using the AdventureWorks 2017 database, and then our target using the AdventureWorks DW. Now, obviously, I'm running this to show you how this will find a lot of differences and write out a script. Typically, you're not going to compare these two databases. Either way, that's the similarities between schema comparison, data comparison. Where the difference is now is that for schema compare, you can write out a report, and we have a deep dive into how you create these reports and how they're used. So when you write out a report, you can have an HTML frame set, rich text, and markdown, and that's only available in schema compare. The only option that you have available for data comparison, and we'll see this when we get to the data comparison video, you have skip warnings, and what this means is that there are warnings that get generated when you do a data comparison, mostly because there are missing indexes. You can say, I don't care, skip those warnings, run the data comparison. So let's take a quick look at how we're going to run this right now. And this is going to do a schema comparison between the two databases. There we go, we're done. And what it's going to do is create your script. So here we go. Here's the script that it created. Obviously, you're comparing AdventureWorks and AdventureWorks DW. There is a lot of differences, and those differences are written out right here. So that is your overview of what the command line does and how it is used.